أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تقعدوا بكل صراط توعدون وتصدون عن سبيل الله من آمن به وتبغونها عوجا واذكروا إذ كنتم قليلا فكثركم وانظروا كيف كان عاقبة المفسدين صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressing people of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam through Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam into the previous ayat. He called them towards the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and invited them that stay away from committing shirk. And he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already sent proof to you. So fulfill the right of weighing and measuring, and do not give people their things short, and do not cause corruption into the earth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after its rectification. It will be best for you if you are believer. And now in this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that do not sit down into every path scaring people and preventing them from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially those who have brought iman, and looking for faults into them. Rather, remember that you were very little in numbers or in wealth, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increased you number-wise and wealth-wise. And reflect that how was the end of those who sow corruption, who planted corruption. How was their end? What was their punishment? How they were taken to task? Reflect about it. So one ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that do not sit into the routes and paths and roads. You are scaring people. There, people of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam, they used to rob people. They used to loot people. People who are onto the journey, who are travelers, they will take advantage against them, and they used to rob them. One. And people who used to bring iman onto the invitation of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam, they will say things about Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam, and that's how they wanted them to stay away from Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam. So they were blocking path for people of iman between themselves and Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam, and they used to try to look for some fault, and they will narrate this fault to these people who are going to Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam, that he is like that, don't go to him. So that is what Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam said to them, that do not rob people and do not prevent people from the haqq, and do not try to look for the faults into the people of haqq, to block the path of haqq. Do not do that. And then he reminded them that وَاذْكُرُوا إِذْ كُنْتُمْ قَلِيلًا فَكَثَّرَكُمْ. Remember, you were in small number and you had no means. Now you have both. That you are grown into the number and you are grown into the wealth. So both favors are coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember that. And if you don't want to remember, فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Then reflect. Da'wat after da'wat. Different hikmat, different tactics to call them towards haqq. And one of the tactic is this also, that warn them that look, if you do not take heed, then look into past. Whoever became obstacle into the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what was their end? How they were taken to task. Pay attention, pay attention. You know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayh, he has brought one title into his Bukhari Sharif. One chapter, and the title of the chapter, that someone wishes that, oh Allah, give me wealth of Quran and Sunnah. That is the very exclusive wish. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfill our wish through His karam. We don't deserve. We don't make enough effort. You know, people are gone. Our Sheikh Yunus rahmatullah alayhi, who used to teach Bukhari Sharif, that was one of his desire, one of his wish, one of his passion. Yesterday we had that visitor from Madinah Munawwara, Mawlana Yunus. He was narrating, our Sheikh has fallen ill while he was on to the journey of Hajj. And he was very, very critically ill. Now, just pay attention that, you know, people of Allah, in every circumstance, look at their reflection, from which angle they look at the things. So he had fallen ill very critically, and he didn't know. He was taken to one of the initial hospital first, and he was transferred for further treatment from 1 or 2, 3 different hospitals. So one of the hospital, when he returned to his consciousness, and he asked, which hospital, where am I? So he was told, you are in Madinah Munawwara. He had one of the greatest desire to die in Madinah Munawwara. It was not fulfilled. He passed away in India, I think in 2017. So when he returned to consciousness, he asked, so he was told, you are in Madinah Munawwara. He said, where in Madinah Munawwara? He said, in this hospital. Where this hospital is situated? So he said, it is in Quba. It is in Quba. So, you know, he started crying out of joy. Just imagine, person was gone on to the door of death. He returns to consciousness, and as soon as he was told, I'm talking about Imam Bukhari has brought one chapter, and the title of the chapter that one wishes, wish of Quran and Sunnah, wealth of Quran and Sunnah. People who wished it, I'm just trying to share an example. When he returned to consciousness and when he came to know everything, that he's in Quba, in this hospital, so he was overjoyed. He said, you know, when all of us, whenever may Allah take us to Madinah Munawwara again and again, and may Allah make us breathe our last there in Madinah Munawwara. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that possible. If we go to Madinah Munawwara, then when Nabi Sassam is resting, if we go into that original Masjidun Nabawi alayhi salatu wassalam, and we try to stay by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in that surrounding, in that neighborhood, that is, you know, everywhere reward you will be getting, you know, abundance of reward. But if you remain closer, the better. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that possible. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that. And you know, another thing. You know how people look at things. Maulana Sayyid, I will complete this. Maulana Sayyid Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi rahmatullah alayh, he used to say, I think I shared it before also, he used to say that we wish that people there, whoever was into authority all these times, if they had left it, houses of Nabi Sassam as it is, the way it was into his time, into the times of Sahaba, if they had left it like that, then people will come till the day of Qiyamah and they will see that this was the household of our Nabi Sassam and his wives. But, you know, different people, they look at the things from the different angle. That's why, you know, last time we shared that Nabi Sassam was not destitute, needy, faqir. Abundance of wealth came to him. He never kept it. Otherwise, he was not needy. He was not needy. In fact, I don't know how correct it is. I always say that whenever things will be shared correct, it is from Allah and from Nabi Sassam. And things will be shared incorrect, it is from me and from Shaitan. And Allah and Nabi Sallallahu has no connection with it. But we shared that also, that when Abraha captured camels of grandfather of Nabi Sallallahu, they were big number, hundreds of camels. And to own hundreds of camel is not small wealth. It is big wealth. So that is the background of Nabi Sallallahu. That is the background of Nabi Sallallahu. So Maulana Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi Rahmatullah used to say that if they had left it like that. So one day he said, I was in Medina Munawwara. He was into the khidmat of his Sheikh, Shah Abdul Qadir Raipuri Rahmatullah. And he said this. He said, Hazrat, if people in authority, they would have left it, houses of Nabi Sallallahu as it is. They have made it like beautiful now. So people look at things from the different angles and all false. If someone becomes victorious, there is example from the life of Nabi Sallallahu. Nabi Sallallahu became victorious. Roman Empire and Persian Empire came under the feet of his slaves. So if you are in that type of situation, then you have role model in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If you become king, you have role model in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If you become subject, you have role model in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In every section of our life, no matter which situation you are, you will always find role model into Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So, Maulana Sayyid Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi Rahmatullah narrated this to his Sheikh. That's why so his Sheikh reacted. He said, no Maulana, in this whole world, whatever favors has come down in this world, and what your people are experiencing, what your whole globe is experiencing, don't you think it is because of the barakat of my Habib Sallallahu? It is because of the barakat of my Habib Sallallahu. So he said, when they are constructing these rooms where he is sleeping, then every one brick they had made it of gold, and one is silver, one is gold and one is silver. Nothing wrong, he said. Because all this, whatever you are what you call utilizing, you are enjoying, you are using, it is because of his barakat. So Maulana Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi Rahmatullah used to say that when I heard that response, then I saw that look, one of the ashiq of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he has different angle to look at things. And we learn something from them. We should not insist only my way or highway. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. So I was saying that when he returned to his consciousness and everything, he came to know that he is in Medina Munawwara, and in Medina Munawwara into the area of Quba. So he was overjoyed because I saw myself, our Sheikh Yunus Rahmatullah, he will make sure that he will try to go into that part, that section, that area, which was the original masjid of Nabi Sallallahu in his time. He was very old, he was into the wheelchair. He will insist to this Maulana Yunus that no, I want to go there, take me somehow. And he used to get there. And that's what, if you have wish for Quran and Sunnah, obedience of Quran and Sunnah, Allah fulfills. Another incident of him, I remember. Once he was lost into the time of Hajj. And when those days, a lot of, big rush and stampede used to take place in that time. He was lost. And some people, they kept on helping. And when Hajj was completed, he was making shukr of Allah. And that was the last year. After that, many things into Mina was changed. So that was the last year. After that, everything was changed. So he was making shukr that, there is blessing in disguise too. When he was lost, he had wuquf at every of those points where Nabi Sallallahu had wuquf. You became stranded. Your khadim is somewhere else and you are somewhere else. But Allah planned something else for you. So in that lost situation, he had stationed himself even into Mina, everywhere. that wherever Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam made, he stayed. Where Nabi sallallahu stayed. So, in that disguise, he attained that favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when he returned to consciousness into Quba, and when he was told, because it was his habit to go into the real masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when he was told that he is into Quba, he was making shukr of Allah that my Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he migrated from Makkah Mukarramah and when he came to Medina Munawwara, first initial 14 days he stayed into Quba. And now Allah made me stay into the hospital for 14 days, which is in Quba. That's why he was overjoyed. That's why he was happy. That's why he was happy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us company, these types of company. Time is very bad. This company is a disaster, wallahi. If you do not have total command on yourself how to utilize this, then please stay away. You just open your phone, and when you switch it off, you just see. Sometimes 90 minutes are gone. Sometimes 100 minutes are gone. Sometimes 50 minutes are gone. So either you stay into the foolish company, or either you stay into the pious and righteous company. These people, they stayed into this type of company. So even into circumstances, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them, enjoy that, although I was unconscious, but I stayed into that Quba, and exactly 14 days, how many days my Nabi Sassam stayed into Quba? If I was well, if I was healthy, then I'm not going to go to stay for 14 days, because that is not sunnat. That is not, when you are into Medina Munawwara, then you must make the most of Masjidun Nabawi alayhi salatu wasalam. You go and visit these places, but Nabi Sassam said that 3 masajid, Masjid Nabawi, Masjid Haram and Masjid Aqsa, they should be desired. So you should desire that. So if he was healthy, then his desire was that. But whatever he used to make dua that I want wealth of Quran and Sunnah, somehow into unconsciousness also, he is getting that connection that where my Nabi Sassam stayed for 14 days, I stay for 14 days. Things like that. There are so many things, inshallah, we will share some other times. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya awwal al-awwaleen, ya akhir al-akhirin, ya rahim al-masakin, ya dhal quwwati al-mateen, ya dhal manni fala yumannu alayk, ya dhal tawl, ya dhal jalali wal ikram. La ilaha illa ant, zahra al-laji'in, wa ja'ra al-mustajidin, wa ma'man al-khaifin. يا مأمن الخائفين إن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب أشقياء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء وإن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب مقطرا علينا أرزاقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا واكتبنا وأثبتنا عندك سعداء ووفقنا الخير فإنك تقول في كتابك يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده الكتاب. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فتوفنا غير مفتونين فاقبضنا غير مفتونين غير خزايا ولا ندامى ولا مفتونين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا توفنا مسلما وألحقنا بالصالحين. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى واجعل آخرتنا خيرا من الأولى. اللهم طهر قلوبنا، اللهم حسن فروجنا واغفر ذنوبنا. اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق وأعمالنا من الرياء وألسنتنا من الكذب وعايننا من الخيانة فإنك تعلم خائنة الأعين وما تخفي الصدور. اللهم متعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا أبدا ما أبقيتنا. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب حبيبك صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم هم أصلنا ووصلنا، وإليهم يحن قلوبنا، وطال إليهم شوقنا، فاقبض إليهم أرواحنا. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمته.